I'm just playing with my intro, creating something better than a 30-second countdown, playing with my intro, while walking down the stairs into my office. This is a mini tour of our house. I hope you like it. I hope you like it. Well, I just got there now. Woo-hoo. This is just a test. Wow. That's right. I haven't changed it yet. I'm okay with it. And in fact, I find that song to be in my head quite a bit lately. Like I'll just be puttering around the house and playing with my intro. This is a mini tour to our house. Wow. Anyway, welcome to another rousing episode of Magic Mondays. I'm not really fighting too much with the light right now, so that's great. There's still construction going on outside, so we'll see how that goes. And I welcome you whether you're watching live or in the future. I'm so glad you're here. This is an interesting time, especially, well, it's an interesting time for all of us. But if you're sensitive, well, I'm extra here for you. Yeah. So let's see. What do we need to do here? Yeah. So first of all, Coop, I'll say this again later, but Coop just texted me and he's on the side of the road with a flat tire. He's hoping to join us in a while. Wishing him luck. Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping today will be a quickie, but I've said that before. And yeah, and maybe no one will show up live today, which will make it extra easy. I don't know why I say that. I can still rattle on even if no one is currently watching me. Okay. So let's see. Well, let's go ahead and smudge the space first and play my beautiful theme song, care of, wait for it. Forgot to take care of some business here. So we were not going to loop the track. Okay, here you go. You are magic, magic. We are magic. Magic Mondays with Cody. Okay, so I'm gonna, as I'm smudging the space, I can do two things at once. I'm just gonna make absolutely sure that, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that my new fancy microphone is working. Well, it's not really new, but it's until yesterday or last night, it's been in my studio sauna where I've been recording my book. And we just finished yesterday. And it's just a matter of taking care of a few little details. Like it seems to be all edited and everything. Ooh, another editing process. And we just have a few little nitpicky questions before we make our first attempt to submit it to, I believe it's called ACX. I should really know what this stands for. I think it might be 3 different platforms where you can put an audiobook. One is Audible. That's the one I know of for sure. Anyway, so I hope to be reporting next week that the audiobook is complete. And yeah, let's see. So this is, as I mentioned, this is an interesting time. Like I need to tell you that. And yeah, so specifically the election that's coming up. And yeah, imagine once upon a time, this was all just through newspapers and stuff. Maybe the news, yeah, and the news, which was only on a few times a day. And now it's in our faces and our phones. Yeah. Anyway, so regardless of how you feel about the election, whether you give a shit about who wins or you're very certain your person should win, in my world, take this or leave it. It's what I teach in the book. But basically, all that really matters, I believe, all that really matters on a soul level is what it brings up for us. So, you know, people are going to have reactions one way or another to whoever wins. And yeah, all I'm concerned about for myself and anybody else who cares is to pay attention to what it brings up for me. So let's go back 8 years, and I'm not really interested. I'm not talking about politics here, but this is just, involving triggers from, in this case, the politics going on and all the drama and all the tremendous energy, which I believe I'm feeling, even though I feel okay about, I feel okay about it. So 8 years ago, I did not. And we all know what happened then. And that was not the person I was rooting for. And I was a hot mess. I talk about this in the book. If you ever want to check it out, drink. And Dave went off to work, and I was just devastated. I really had the very real feeling that nothing could ever be okay again. And so, and I was just like, oh my God, I was crying and crying, like, what can I do? And then pretty much immediately, because I've trained myself to go here, I'm like, oh, okay, well, what is this? The universe is in a conspiracy for my happiness. So it must be, whatever's happening to me is happening for me, or whatever's coming up for me is for me. So I'm like, okay, like really like that feeling, that deep feeling. I know you know what I'm talking about when you get really triggered. Like, it's kind of like, how could this ever manage to work out ever? And so I got out my pendulum, and within 15 minutes or less, I felt fine again. And I went about my day, despite the result of that election. And despite, like, I got out of my trigger within 15 minutes. And I know people who are still living that trigger from 8 years ago. Like, that just keeps coming back up. And unless you flatten the energy in the background, it's just going to keep, finding different ways to get your attention and scream at you. I'm making you feel this shitty, this like shitty, and like, oh my God, like, this is so real and nothing can ever be okay again, for a reason, because it's old energy really desperately trying to get your attention. It just acts as a tripwire. And whenever you get close to a resonance that's similar to it, then you feel it. And if you have a way of picking apart that energy, it's life-changing. So, it's how I live my life, and I want everyone to know this. And, as the Scientologists say, I'm wondering if what I'm talking about is too steep of a gradient for people, because this is so not how we were raised to think. At least I wasn't. That like, oh, I'm having my personal feelings through my windshield of perception, my individual windshield of perception of all of my unhealed energy. Like, my feelings fucking matter. Why is that so hard to understand? And it's like, okay, and then take it a step further, which is where the magic is, and like, get out your pendulum, or however you get your yes, no answers, and just start asking. Like, whatever you have in your tool bag. I don't care if you have one thing in your tool bag. I don't care if you have nothing in your tool bag. Get out your pendulum and start asking, is there something energetic bubbling up for me personally, in this trigger? And if it, you get a yes, you figure it out. You just keep asking questions. I feel like I spell it out in my book. Yeah, we'll see. So let's see who's here. Art and Erica. Yay. Good morning. Sorry that we are late. No need to apologize. I love when people check in with me. Like, Dr. Shannon can't be here because she has to take her sweet little kitty. What is it? Snoop Kitty? Is that her kitty's name? Anyway, Snoop Kitty. Okay, never mind. Poof. I'm going to poof myself. So Shannon can't be here. So we're going to play her theme song too. So let's go ahead and get me off of my soapbox and play some theme songs. So Art and Erica, here you go.
Art and Erica, Erica and Art. Thank you for joining us, doing your part. Yeah.
I don't know what that little dance was about, but welcome. And let's go ahead, in case Shannon watches this later. Here you go.
Shannon is here. Hey, Dr. Shannon.
Hey, Dr. Shannon. Okay, and sending love once again to Shannon's neighborhood in Florida, and anybody else who might be watching who, had to deal with the hurricanes and you're in recovery. So let's go to, I'm finding a picture to look at because 11/11 is coming up, and I'll put this one up. It's goofy, but if you haven't figured it out yet, so am I. So, well, until we get there, let's see, what else do I have? Okay, we're just going to do this first. So, in case you need to see this, this is how I live my life. The universe is in a conspiracy for our happiness. The universe always has our backs. Therefore, if it's happening to us, it's happening for us. So, what is the universe bringing to our attention for our highest growth, healing, and happiness? Yeah. And that's when the bad shit happens too. It's all of it. But anyway, there's always some gift on a soul level. So let's go ahead and make a wish because it is 11/11 on the West Coast. So here we go. Okay. And while I'm here, I wanted to go ahead and read this. I haven't read this one for a while, but it's my favorite Rumi poem. And it goes like this. The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from up beyond. Rumi. Yay, Rumi. I heart Rumi. Okay, so so if you're, we're going into trigger season. We are in trigger season. And I having gotten myself out of that 8 years ago election awfulness in literally 15 minutes, or I would say probably less, but let's be generous. 15 minutes. And I was like, beyond like nothing can ever be okay again to, I feel better. Okay, let's move along. And I continued with my day. So I just really want to keep hitting that home because that's not just something special for me. I believe if you are interested in pursuing anything like this for yourself, you can. And if it's not your thing, if you'd rather just feel like shit and find another way around it, that's great. That's great. I don't even see this as finding a way around it, though. I see it as getting to the heart of it. So it doesn't have to keep coming back instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it and feeling better for the moment. Because unless you resolve that energy in some way, it's still going to stick around. It's still going to be alive in you, just waiting for the resonance, waiting for the law of attraction of some shitstorm in your life that just has that perfect resonance to like increase the shitstorm. So, all right. Oh, Shannon, you are here. Well, I don't know if you heard your theme song. Let me know if you didn't hear it because I literally just played it. Okay. So, anyway, what was I going to say? So much to say. Oh yeah. So if you are interested or intrigued, even though you don't think you could do it for yourself, if there's even just the tiniest little opening of like, I'd like to consider that and try that on, get my book. Like seriously, I truly believe that if this is right for you, you could spend $50 or less on buy my book in whatever form. And the high end is $25. Ooh, $25 plus $15 on a pendulum, and you could probably get out of there about $40 and change your life if you choose to. And just be open to a different perspective. that can open up your world in ways you had no idea were possible. Anyway, okay, so Shannon said she's watching from the vet. Dang, I missed my song. I'll watch it after the show. Oh, no. Oh, no. Shannon, we'll just play it again. Okay, here we go.
Shannon is here. Hey, Dr. Shannon.
Yeah, I gave you a little weird salute earlier as well. Okay. Oh, Jenna's here. Jenna said, dumb question. Where would I find a pendulum? Oh, that's so cute. Well, that's certainly not a dumb question. It's a great question. But the question first is, how quickly can we hear your theme song? The answer is right now.
Jana. Jana is here today. Hey.
Okay. Well, yeah, to find a pendulum. So I think the best way, I mean, you do it your way. This is just my opinion. What is it they say? What's that classy, lofty expression? Everyone, like assholes and opinions, everyone's got one. Yeah. So, yeah. So I think the best way, in my opinion, is to find a woo-woo store. Like my favorite is in Encinitas, if that helps, Jenna. But I'm sure there's something closer to you. And I think the best is to go into a store and just look at their selection. And as I say in the book, I'm guessing you haven't gotten to that part yet, Jenna. How dare you? I'm totally kidding. You know I'm kidding. But go into that store and look at the display and see if any, maybe none of them do, but just look around and pick one that looks the most entertaining or interesting or like, ooh, however you get your information, and just pick it up with your dominant hand and start asking it for your yes and no responses. So, and just real simply, you can just hold it steady and yes, or say the name of your little sweetie's name. Say the name of your little sweetie's name. Wow, I totally did go to the School of Redundancy School, which was one of my favorite Far Side cartoons. Yeah, so, and just, you just say something where you get into the feeling of yes and see how it swings for you. And it's not the same for everybody. I've seen things that say like, oh, if it does this, it means this. I'm like, no, it doesn't. No. And my directions have even changed or shifted over the years. It's been fascinating. But anyway, and then you do the same for your no. Just say no. Or I always like to, use extremes like Hitler. Like, oh, I love Hitler. If you get a yes on that, like, you haven't, something's wrong there. Anyway, I think you get the idea. And then what I think makes it extra magical to me by doing it this way is then once you get your yes and no answers, ask if that particular pendulum is yours. And if it is, great, buy it. Most pendulums in stores, at least last I saw, which has been a while, but they're not terribly much. I remember buying a Kick-Ass one. It was like definitely under $20. Yeah, it was brass. It was beautiful. Anyway, yeah. So ask if it's yours. If it is, buy it. If not, ask if your pendulum is in that display. If it's not, well, maybe you need to go to another store or yeah. So try that on, see if that works. Probably more information than you were asking for. But thanks for being here. So let's see. And Jenna said this, grinny face. And she said, I just don't want to get hurt. So I'm listening to what you say. Thank you. Yeah, that's from my book if you don't know. Yeah. So, and drink while you're at it. It's funny. I have a client who's a friend also, and anytime I'm talking to him, he's like the only person in my life who does this, which is funny. Yeah. And if I'm forgetting somebody, I'm sorry. But he consistently, like just so quickly and casually, if I mention my book, he's like, drink. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that. Yeah. And for anybody who missed it at the beginning, Coop may or may not be joining us because right before the show started, he let me know that he is on the side of the road with a flat tire. So he's going to do his best to join us in a while. Yeah. So what else do I want to say? So the audiobook is done. I hope to report to you next week that you can purchase it if you're interested. Yeah. Even my own brother hasn't read my book. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Family. He's like, I'll wait for the audiobook. It's like, okay, well, all right. So anywho, yeah, I'm going to say it again. Family. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. I think I've covered everything I was going to mention. So kind of what I started with today is that my feelings, despite I feel pretty level myself, like as far as my thinking goes and my feelings associated with it, I don't have any strong, I'm not experiencing any triggers regarding the election like I did 8 years ago yet. But if I do, I'll sit my ass down and clear them up quickly. So that's pretty great. You can too if you want. Yeah, but I realized today doing TMI, put on some earmuffs if you don't want to hear about it. But when I was doing my enemas this morning, yeah, I was, how do the kids say it now? I see it on all the reality shows. Like I'm feeling some kind of way. Yeah, I'm feeling a little anxious at times. I felt pockets of feeling great. I have a lot of exciting things happening. And I just feel good basically overall. And then there's these pockets of like, am I feeling a little low grade anxiety? Oh, ooh, we'll get back to that in a second. So Dr. Shannon is pointing out that in her neck of the woods, it's 222. So I invite us all to make a wish on that. Let's find a pretty picture for that. How about Gone Dave? Okay. Yeah, he very much looks like Gandhi to me. Okay, so that being said, all right. Thank you, Shannon. Okay. So, and Shannon, I was thinking about chiropractic school and I was thinking, oh, should I like announce my book to like the alumni newsletter magazine that comes out every so often? But in my book, I talk about chiropractic school, but then I do out myself for having done something that I could have been kicked out of school for. And I wouldn't want them to retroactively take back my beautiful diploma. Okay. So I was wondering what you thought about that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kidding. So, did I mention I was on another podcast? So that's cool. Yeah. And I was a little bit more, yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure. Yeah, I did write this down to bring up. So we'll just talk about it. And I think there goes the hammering for the construction on the deck that's continued. Yeah, for over a week now. Anyway, I think this is day 8. Yeah. So I was on a second podcast appearance. I made a second podcast guest appearance that just came out. And in my book, I talk about I've always been kind of protective of my mom, and I hope it's always clear. I think it's abundantly clear in my book. Like I don't share anything that's like, yeah, I share some real basic facts, and I don't think I say this out loud in my book, but my mom was real depressed, and I think it's, part of me with this podcast coming out, because I'm guessing my mom's probably going to listen to it because she listened to the first one and made some nice comments about it. So, and I know she's hearing all this through my viewpoint, and it brings up her stuff, which I hope she's looking at, because there's the gift in that. And, as this podcast was coming out, there's kind of this background, that old energy of like, oh, I need to protect my mom. And it's like, I realized protect her from what? Admitting that my mom was depressed growing up? I bet there's a lot of us who could say that. Her mother was probably depressed, but she worked through it because she was an action person and like, don't feel your fucking feelings is what I'm guessing. Yeah, because I believe my grandma was probably she was probably a powerful witch at one point, but she shut that shit down and she attempted on some level to shut mine down too, at least on a subconscious level. So in this podcast, I do talk about that. My mom was, I grew up with my mom depressed. She was depressed. And there's that little background energy of like, uh-oh, am I not taking care of my mom? And it's like, no. I am all about, well, I'm sure anybody can relate. Everyone's families has patterns. And unless you talk about them and bring them out into the open, how are you ever going to fucking resolve anything? Like, and it just gets passed down. Like whatever isn't handled by one generation gets passed down to the next one. And it really hammers me. Trying to work it in, the sound effects. Anyway, so I'm all about just bringing stuff out into the light. And she and I used to talk about it. Like we had a name for it. We called it the dark days. So yeah. And, from my perspective, even though my mom and I aren't connecting on the level that we used to, thank goodness, because we were so enmeshed. But man, boy, do I still care about her. I want her to have a kick-ass life. And from what I last heard, or what I've heard for a long time, is that she sounds like she's in a lot of ways more alive and more herself than she ever has been in her whole life. So that's so great. And what's really great is that I appreciate that. I just talked to a cousin of mine who I hadn't talked to for a long time, which is a shame because at one point we were tight as kids but that's just our family energy. Like we're just not, I was not trained to connect with every family member and stay that way. And it was nice. We connected the other day and got some insights from her side of the family of what's going on. And what was my point with all of that? Well, this should come as no surprise that I go down rabbit holes and then I forget where I started. Yeah, but oh yeah, that's right. And so we were kind of comparing notes, and I told her, I've always noticed, and I only told her this because I thought it would be of value because she was really going through something. And magically we connected. I thought she was connecting with me because she read my book. No, she saw my book and sent it to somebody else because she thought it would help them. So I thought she was contacting me for some energy work. And then we started talking and she had no fucking idea what I was talking about. So it was like, wow, magic really happens in some mysterious ways because we did some really interesting energy work. And she's probably going, what the fuck is happening? But it was super great to connect with her. But I got to tell her that I think it's interesting that my side of the family, knock on wood, but I think we tend to just look at our stuff more. And so we don't seem to have the same disease patterns that her side of the family. We have, our grandmas were sisters. And from her perspective, my grandma growing up, compared to her grandma, my grandma was called the magic one. What? That blows my mind. And I told her, from talking to her, this is what I gleaned. It's like, oh, my family tends to look at their stuff and, work on it. And her side, they tend to be more the people, those lovely people who will do anything for anybody and don't look at don't pay attention to their own feelings. Yeah. And that's heartbreaking. Because it's so lovely, to be needed and wanted, and so helpful. But if it's to your own detriment, your body, it's going to show it. If you're not looking at your stuff, that expression will come through. It's always coming through. And you want to catch those things before they get to the point of cancer or, it's getting a little misty in here, a little smoky, I guess. I'm getting a little teary. Anyway, so it was really lovely to connect with her and share some ideas that are in my book, and some different ways of considering things. Yeah, because she was just, as we all get sometimes, she was in some major trigger energy. So I hope that helps. I'm going to check in with her. But what I'm noticing in my own patterns, that old mom stuff of always, wanting to make sure she feels okay, and not deal with my own feelings of whatever was going on, or about her reaction or whatever. I realized, like, my instinct the next day after working with my cousin, I was like, "Oh, I wonder how she's feeling," and checking in on her and taking care of her. It's like, no, that's old energy. She knows where I am. She's a big girl. She's over 50. She knows my number now. And yeah, and I'll check in with her later. And I've had to work through that pattern with a few people and that's that same mom energy of feeling like I need to really take care of somebody when it's not my fucking job. I'll help you if you want my help, assuming I'm taking care of myself in the process. So anybody who needed to hear that, there you go. Yeah, but I really do want to know how she's feeling. Yeah. So, okay. Well, I think I covered everything I would cover. Yeah, and I was hoping Coop would be here by now, but he's not. Let's see. So, oh, have I mentioned my sponsor yet? Gosh. Sorry, sponsor, if I haven't. I have a lot of feelings going on right now. So we're gonna get to those in a second. Because I'm guessing they're not all mine. So, oh, pardon me, folks. It's hard to be cool sometimes. Okay, so today's sponsor, or this week's sponsor, is a new dating show called Eat, Drink, and Be Married. That's right, a group dating show with a twist of plate. That's right, it's eating and drinking and group, those kind of speed dating, speed eating, speed drinking, yeah, it's a group dating show with a twist of plate of food. Okay, so I welcome them and mention Magic Mondays, and you can bring a friend for free to this fake event. Okay, so I'm glad we got that out of the way. Well, this just caught my eye. I haven't shown this one in a while, so let's look at this. Just a reminder, I am resilient and my body is brilliant. I don't just mean me. Let's say that again. We are resilient and our bodies are brilliant. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm kind of curious. So I think we're going to go ahead and start with the magic stuff now. So just putting it out there, I'm just wondering, is anybody having any stuff coming up for them regarding just, I guess more specifically about, kind of what's going on in our country specifically. But, good news, bad news. I guess we tend to be in some places, part of the, world of news for the world. News for the world. Oh my God. Why am I trying to talk about news? I don't watch the news. Well, I take that back. I do watch Weekend Update. So, and in case you're wondering, Michael Che used to be my super hottest guy nominee. Anyway, not anymore. I'm not sure who is anymore. I'll just stick with my husband. So, okay, enough of my yakking. I'm going to smudge again. I smudged at the beginning, but I'm feeling a little extra out of sorts ish. Yeah, I had a real juicy trigger the other day or other evening, and it got I felt like, do I have the flu? I was under a blanket, like in the early evening on the couch and like kind of shivering, like I had a fever or something, like the chills. And Dave went and got food for us. And yeah, it just kind of went downhill, and my mood just awful. I felt so shitty and so weak and tired. This is super odd for me. I think I didn't floss or brush my teeth that night. I am a diligent flosser and teeth brusher. So anyway, and what it brought up for me is I found myself just kind of considering, like, I felt too tired and too like, ugh, I didn't want to force myself to check myself. So I just kind of wallowed in it, knowing that I'll be able to check on it at some point. And basically, I started questioning everything. Well, not everything, not Dave or anything, but um, my beliefs and my book, and kind of like I haven't had these voices for a while, not literal voices, but voices of kind of like, who the fuck do I think I am, to think that I might be able to help people. And yeah. Anyway, and so that next morning, finally, I'm like, okay. And I checked myself and cleaned up the trigger, and then I felt fine. So anyway, once again, proof that, yeah. And sometimes I need things to get in my face a little bit to remind me, oh, yeah, because I'm always reconsidering things. I'm always questioning everything and attempting to keep current. So, that being said, let's go ahead and check in and see if it's time to do some magic. So, my name is Colleen. Yep. My name is Bob. No. Okay. It's safe and appropriate to do some energy work for the group. Yep. Okay. So, we're going to start with, let's just do a quick grounding. And whew, okay. Whew. Again, I say, oof. Okay, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole I want to about the show Jury Duty, which, if you haven't seen it, it seriously has become comfort food for my soul. And it's one of I put it on the same level show wise as I would Spinal Tap movie wise. Anyway, okay, so poof, what I was going to say. So let's go ahead and do a grounding. I think I'm going to ground from my root chakra. The color is red. Close your eyes and sit comfortably, or lie down comfortably if you can. And here we go. So let's expand that beautiful red light at the base of our spines. Our beautiful our root chakra. We're going to expand out that beautiful light out through our energy fields and ultimately to the far reaches of the universe, sharing our beautiful energy with everybody. And we're going to send some of that energy down into beautiful Gaia, forming deep, deep grounding roots. We're going to open up our crown chakra and allow in the cosmic energy to meet up with some of Gaia's energy, meets up with the cosmic energy, creating an interface between heaven and earth through us. So that being said, let's put a shout out to any dead people or stuck souls connected to anybody watching live or in the future. So you're welcome to show up, dead people, if you're just looking for an exit strategy with no extra questions asked. So that being said, okay, my name is Colleen. Okay, it's safe to work with the group today. Yes. Are there any dead people that are ready to move on to the light right now? No questions asked for anybody watching live or in the future. Yes. Okay. Are we ready? Yes. And Jesus, are you here? Yes. Jesus is not here. Yes. Ooh, I'm glad I asked that extra question, because something's going on, because I got a yes where I shouldn't have. So, okay. So my name is Colleen. No. Okay. Well, we'll get back to the dead people in a second. Okay. I'm testing as someone else. I am. Okay. I'm testing as somebody in physical form. No. I'm testing as somebody in non-physical form. Yeah. They come from the light, come from the light, come from the light. Yes. They come from the dark, come from the dark, come from the dark. No. Okay. This is one of these guys. No. One of these guys. These guys. A witch. A dragon. Okay, a dragon. Okay, there's a dragon here. Okay, does this dragon belong to me? Okay, maybe that's a poor choice of words. Do any of our dragons really belong to us? We don't own them. Okay. Yeah, okay, it belongs to somebody watching live or in the future. No, it belongs to me. No. This dragon is making a guest appearance. Okay. This dragon is making a guest appearance. Okay. This is a female dragon. it is. It's a male dragon? No. Okay. So this female dragon, do you have something for the group? You do. Okay. Do you want to take care of these dead people? No. But you have something for the group before we take care of the dead people? Yep. Okay. This is something that resonates on my master menu. Yes. This is in column A. No. Column B. Yeah. In an odd numbered row. No. In row 2, 4, 6, 6. And our winner is mystery work. So, okay. So our female dragon friend, Dragonia. Can I call you Dragonia? Thank you. She's nice. She's friendly and easy. Well, not in a slutty way necessarily. Okay, so Dragonia, you're going to do some mystery work for the group. Yes. And this is safe and appropriate from the light. Yes. Okay. Are we ready? Yes. Would you like my assistance? No. Okay. Can we know what the subject matter of this is? Oh, we can know what the subject matter is. So let's poke around. So this is regarding financial abundance. Is this regarding staying sane and sober during these difficult times? Trying times? Yes. Okay. Do we need to be more specific? Nope. Okay. So Dragonia, are you ready? Okay. This is safe and appropriate for anybody watching live or in the future. Yes. Okay, Dragonia. Go for it. Okay. That felt buzzy to me. Okay, Dragonia, have you completed that for us? Thank you. Okay, do you have anything else for us? Nope. Okay, are we complete? Yep, my name is Colleen. Okay, so let's see if do we have dead people that are ready to move on to the light? With anybody watching live or in the future? Yes. Okay. Is Jesus our best escort? Yes. Jesus is our worst escort? No. Okay, good. Okay, so Jesus, are you ready? All right. Here we go. Say goodbye to your little friends. Okay. So have we successfully released these dead people to the light? Yep. Thanks, Jesus. All right. So, all right. So is there something energetic to address for myself? Okay. So let's just ask. Okay, is working on me right now the best thing to do? Yes. So just so you know, a few minutes before the show today, I started feeling real like, ooh, what's happening? Not that I was thinking about anything. It was just more of like a weird feeling. And it's interesting when I have, yeah, when I start feeling wonky physically, but I don't have the like a mental component to it that like kind of explains it. Usually it isn't mine. Yeah, but let's find out. Okay, so it's best for me to check myself. Okay, and anything I clear for myself, that energy is available for anybody watching live or in the future. Yeah, so this might connect with you too. So, and what I was going to say is right before the show, I checked in and got like, yeah, there's something going on with me that's bubbling up to be addressed. But I also got that it would be better just to sit on it for a moment and gut through it and do it on the show. So here we go. Okay. So there's something bubbling up for me regarding just how I'm feeling. Yep. Okay. This is on my master menu. This is in column A in an odd numbered row. Yes. In row 1. Yes. In row 3. No. Okay. That takes me to negative portals. Okay. So, all right. This negative portal is in column A. I'm sorry. Wow. Yeah, told you I'm feeling a little off, so bear with me. Not that you know that how I fucked up right now or not. That's not for you to judge. Okay. So this is a dimensional spiral portal. No, this is a easy seal them up. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So the seal them up portal is in column A. Yes. In an odd numbered row. Yes. Okay. In row 1, 3, 5, 5. Okay. Confusion portal. No shit. Okay. So it's safe and appropriate to seal up this confusion portal now. Yep. And this is safe and appropriate for anybody else in the watching live or in the future, if this is for them as well. Yep. Here we go. Okay. Have we successfully sealed up this negative confusion portal? Yes. Okay. Is there something else energetic bubbling up for me that may or may not be for the group? Yes. This is on my master menu. This is in column A in an odd numbered row. Now, in row 2, 4, 6, 8, 8, 8, no, 10, yeah, 12, no. Okay, so 10. All right, that's the ever popular. It's either a frozen negative emotion or an atrophied positive emotion. Yeah, and the atrophied positive emotions, well, it's in the book, but I got the idea from comedian. He doesn't know it, but comedian and co-creator of Chappelle's Show, Neil Brennan, he gave me the idea for this based on his life experience. So I was considering, I'm keeping a running tally of like people I'd like to send my book to if I found a way to do it. And when it comes to famous people, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I've considered like, how would he feel about that? Yeah. Anyway, good story, bruh. Okay. So this is a frozen negative emotion. Yeah, this is an atrophied positive emotion. No. Okay. So this frozen negative emotion is in column A. Column B, yes. In an odd numbered row, yes. In row 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 13. Yeah. Okay. The good news is we don't have to pay for the deck, so that's great. So let the construction go forever. Okay, not really. Okay, so that being said, so disrespected. Okay, frozen energy of disrespected. So can we determine, do we need to know when this energy became frozen for me? We do. Okay, this is from this lifetime. Yeah, it's a real timid yeah. Okay, prior to the age of 20, prior to the age of 10, prior to the age of 5, prior to the age of 3. At age 3, man, age 3 for me is the gift that keeps on giving. And what I've gotten consistently for a gazillion years is basically that's when my clairaudience shut down. I experience a little clairaudience here and there, but it's nothing I could rely on like consistently. Yeah. Anyway, I made peace with it, but I used to be really angry because I've consistently gotten that my grandma helped shut that down for me on some level. Because in my family, we don't do this. We don't do this stuff. Newsflash, we do now. So, grandma, you can't stop me now, although she's tried. But anyway, we don't need to go there. So, this energy of disrespected became frozen in me in this lifetime. This is originally my feelings of being disrespected. No, this is somebody else's feelings of being disrespected that I took on for myself. Yes. Okay. Was this grandma? Okay. It's grandma. Okay. Anything else we need to know about this? No. It's safe and appropriate to disrupt the pattern of this frozen energy of disrespected for me and anybody else who this resonates with back to the age of 3 with a bypass circuitry. Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm guessing Coop's not going to join us today, which is a bummer. I hope he's safe and not on the side of the road anymore. Okay, so this bypass circuitry is in column A, column B, column C. Yes. In an odd numbered row. Yes. In row 1, 3, 3. Okay. Miraculous cosmic autophagy. Yeah. Basically, autophagy is a process that our bodies, it's like our bodies, how it takes out the trash. And for example, if you fast, then you go into like more autophagy and you can clean out a lot more shit, so to speak. Anyway, yeah, if you're eating all the time, your body doesn't really have the opportunity to really take out the trash, like all the trash. Yeah. So anyway, so this is a little poetic license, but I'm a published author now, so it's okay. Miraculous cosmic autophagy is the bypass circuitry or pattern disruptor Gaia is going to use for this frozen energy of disrespected. So, Gaia, are you ready to facilitate the revelation of this bypass circuitry, thereby disrupting the pattern of this atrophied energy of this frozen energy of disrespected for me and anybody else? Yeah. Oh my God. This is safe and appropriate from the light. Okay. Now the drilling has stopped. So Gaia, are you ready? This is safe and appropriate. Thank you. Good Lord. We're almost done, folks. Here we go again. Okay, so Gaia, have you successfully facilitated the revelation of this bypass circuitry, thereby disrupting the pattern of this frozen energy of disrespected for me and anybody else who needed it? Yep, thank you, Gaia. You're awesome. Okay, so is there anything else bubbling up? No. Is this a good place to stop? Good. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so thank you for joining me. And yeah, hopefully Coop will be back next week. Just know whoever wins tomorrow, yeah, whatever shows up for you is showing up for you. Yeah. And honestly, I truly believe we can all win, no matter who wins, if you know what you're looking for and look into your triggers and pay attention to what life is reflecting back to you. And if it's reflecting back a lot of feelings of really shitty feelings, they can be peeled apart if you know what you're looking for. I swear to God, it's in my book. Try it out if you like. Anyway, or contact me if you would prefer. Where is, I can do this. You can contact me at energyhealingwithcolleen.com. You can also buy my book there if you like. Well, you don't buy it through my website, but you just kind of filter through my website. And on my website, it gives a nice description of the book. In fact, while I was TMI, you've come this far, when I was holding a quart of coffee in my large intestine, cleaning out my liver and feeling better as a result, I was realizing that, I'm sorry. Poof. I was looking at the back cover online, just on Amazon, and I hadn't read the back cover for a while. And it's like, I almost started crying. It's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And yeah, this is what I offer. So check it out. If you know somebody sensitive, or you yourself are sensitive, or and just, I think there's nuggets of magic for anybody. I did not say nuggets of MAGA, in case you're wondering. Okay, that being said, I love you all. I hope you have a fabulous week, despite anything happening in the world or around you. There's always options for more peace internally, and this whole life thing is an inside job. So whatever's being reflected back to you, it's something you can look at. Anyway, let me know if I can be of assistance, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Now for my beautiful outro, care of Artica Productions, who I get to see on Saturday unless plans change. Bye.
You are magic, magic. We are magic. Magic Mondays with Colleen.